Hey guys, my name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton Sihon. I am coming to you today to talk about loyalty contracts. I'm wondering if you have ever heard of loyalty contracts. It's something that comes up quite often in my practice, and recently it was suggested to me to get this book by a friend of mine, Marianne, a book called "It Didn't Start with You." And it goes into a lot about loyalty contracts. I have experienced this myself. I've also seen a lot of examples of that when I'm working with my patients. I know Dr. Lucky and also Bob Stevens, Roberts Tennyson Stevens, are big time all about conscious language and being able to use words or hear words, listen to words, and be able to kind of map back to what a trauma is in someone's life based on some of the things that they express, that the patient will express. Um, and I'll give you some examples. For one, in this book, they're talking about a guy who was 19 years old and all of a sudden started having weird symptoms of waking up in the middle of the night about 3 o'clock in the morning, freezing, needing 5 or 6 extra blankets, teeth chattering, afraid to go to sleep, um, and unable to go to sleep, and feeling like if he went to sleep, then he would die. Cancel all of that. But so when he went and looked further into it, some of the questions that were asked were like, when did this start? Of course, he said it started around 19. Um, they were paying attention really carefully to what he was saying, and he kept talking about freezing and being afraid to die. Turns out he had an uncle who, when asked around, they asked him, "Do you have anyone in your family that wakes up in the morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, or is afraid to die?" Or just those kind of questions. Turned out his uncle, who he had not met, had passed away in 19 when he went camping and got stuck in the mountains and actually froze to death. So this is an example of a loyalty contract where the nephew had picked up on an energetic print from another family member and was actually trying to live it out or continue in the program, whatever that program was energetically. I know that when I test people, especially in person, I'll make sure, are you the person that I'm testing? Because especially people who are in ministry or people in like nursing or teaching or counseling or massage or anything hands-on with people, it's very, very easy to actually pick up programs even from people who are not family members. So you have family member loyalty contracts where you may pick up a family program and try to relive it out. But then there's also just picking up clients. Recently, Danny passed away from Dirt Road Discussions, and a friend of mine had actually tested to see what had happened, and what her finding came out was that he had picked up something from one of his clients that he was helping and had continued on like with that loyalty contract and passed that way. So it can be big time. It can be really serious if we're not paying attention. Yes, Miriam, thank you so much. That's who I was talking about, who had suggested the book to me. I know, and when I was working with Dr. Lucky, one of the first things that he always trained me is whenever I'm working with someone is to find out, make sure you're you first. And one of the times that I came in, actually wasn't me. It took him like an hour to figure out who I was. And I turned out to be someone that I was pretty shocked who I was. But I had related to a story that she had. This woman had been carrying some trauma and some pain about a situation with her marriage, and at the time I was going through a similar thing with my former partner, and so I had picked up on her, and I was actually her going through what she was going through. And so it took a minute, and I basically had to work through with Dr. Lucky to get back to me and to clear whatever was going on with her. So we ended up spending like an hour working on her to clear her before I can even get to myself. So I know this sounds like super bizarro, but another example in the book is about a woman who felt like she wanted to commit suicide, and she kept going on and on, but the choice of words that she used were having to do with being incinerated or just vaporized, are words that she used. And when they asked further a little bit about what was going on with her, turned out that she had her grandparents in the Holocaust, and they were about the same age when they were basically put into a stove and literally vaporized around the same time that this woman was having some issues come up in her life, because she had picked up on the timeline of her grandparents, and was just trying to sort through that. I've had other clients that I actually had a client one time that came in who wasn't her, and it turned out that she was her ex-husband's new wife. That's who she tested as. It took me a little bit to find that out. But I was like, who are you? Are you a female? Are you a male? Are you a family member? And on the way over to come see me, she had found out her ex-partner had actually called her and was upset, telling her about how his current wife, his new wife, had cheated on him and how upset he was. And then when the more they started talking, he actually confessed that he cheated on her first, and that she was just getting back on him. And that immediately put my client in a different state of empathy for the wife instead of the husband, because she had been cheated on by this guy. And so it took us like an hour, but we cleared and we got her back to be her. So she wasn't carrying on any loyalty contracts with the new wife. We tend to do this with animals as well, pets, working with all the animals that I work at the shelter, and or just, the ones that I've found or that come to me for rescuing. If we have a ill pet, whether it's cat, dog, horse, whatever, 9 times out of 10, they are picking up on the owner. So I'll say, what's going on with you? If this is going on with the dog or the cat, then they're probably just picking up on you. So let's work on you too. And we work on everyone together. So there's a lot to this. There's a ton more examples. I will give you one more. That's me personally. I had went to go see Dr. Lucky because I had several miscarriages. And actually, I think I was on my second one when I went to go see him originally. Maybe it was the second one. I choose to know. But he kept picking up on something from my grandmother on my mom's side about the fourth child, and just kept going on and on about my grandmother with the fourth child. Well, my grandmother didn't have 4 children. She had 3 children. And so he wanted me to call and confirm that. And, it's kind of a strange question because my mom is the youngest. She would have been the third child. But I did call her and I asked her something about it. And she was like, no, there wasn't a fourth child. And then I called my grandmother, and turned out my grandmother said that there actually was a fourth child, but he had passed within a day or so of being born from pneumonia. And that little boy's name was Samuel. Well, turns out, okay, now to be clear, it wasn't my second one. It was my fourth one, actually, because that's where the story got weird. Is I had just had my fourth one, and it was a little boy, and I had named him Samuel. That was the whole connection there. So yeah, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm remembering. So anyway, I had somehow picked up on her pain, and it's a way of love, in a weird energetic way of like we maybe try to take off some of the pain of our family members or through other people, people who are empathic can struggle with this extra to pick up loyalty contracts along the way, whether it's from friends or coworkers or pets or family members. But loyalty contracts are very, very real. And it's interesting that we can actually go all the way down the rabbit hole with someone else's program and it not even be ours. That's why it's also important to have a good doctor that isn't going to speak anything crazy over you. Because a lot of times people are told, you know, you have this many months to live or this year to live or whatever, whatever. And people will literally subconsciously take that in and go, okay. And then even if they're healed, can still die on that day because it's of the program that they pick up. So, anyway, all that being said, that's loyalty contracts. Speaking of Dr. Lucky and of Robert Tennyson, Dr. Lucky will be with me in a conference March. This is March. We're in March already. March the 27th, 28th, and 29th in Pineville, Louisiana, which is right there close to Alexandria, central Louisiana. He will be seeing patients on the 28th and the 29th, and we will be doing meetings at night. And this will be a great place for you to come and we can connect and talk about great things like this energy and how it affects our health and our lives, abundance, how it affects our energy, really every area of our life. We always say that you can't be in the pool and hope it doesn't get everywhere. All energy is everywhere. And so that this just proves, like Miriam was saying, that we are all very, very connected. I'm also going to have Robert Tennyson Stevens in Baton Rouge on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So if you are looking to make an appointment and or to come in just to learn about some of these key things, about loyalty contracts, about other things with energy, about conscious language, about body language, about tools for energy, then these are some great live events that you can come to where we can actually meet up and talk and learn and have some good fun together. So, okay, well, I just wanted to get that out there. My book is called The Science of Miracles. You can, it's in the link there. I think you should be able to find it if you're interested in that. The other book is also there. And then if you're interested in a remote biofeedback scan, the link is in there as well. And if it's not, then I will add it so you guys can have that link if you're interested in working with me and we can get you squared away. So love you guys so much. Hope you're having a wonderful week and so far, and love you. Talk to you soon. Oh, this Thursday we will have Tina St. John on. Really excited about our noon live. Hope you guys can tune in for that. That's going to be fun. All right. Talk soon. Bye.